Hi everyone, welcome to today's webinar. I forgot to send a chat to everyone. I will be sending you the specs for the software, which is GoToWebinar. The reason why a lot of people get kicked off the webinar or their audio gets cut off or they don't see the presentation is because your machine, your phone, your iPad, your tablet, or your laptop doesn't meet the specs of the software that we're using right now. So please make sure to to check the specs on the chat that I sent you and see if your machine meets these specs. Otherwise, if it doesn't, you can connect both through your laptop, your tablet, and also connect through your what do you call this? Through your phone, so that just in case you get cut off on one of the on either a laptop or your phone, you're still connected to the webinar. So we're seeing about uh 289 people. That's nice. If you can hear me or you can see my screen or you can see the camera, the webcam is turned on, can you please post we don't have chat right now, but can you please post a question just to confirm that you can hear me?
I see some
Okay, good.
questions. I see
Mhm.
questions.
Yeah, I sent a private message to the user. Okay, that's nice. And is it okay? Oh, sorry. Since our speaker is Canadian, I'm not gonna speak in Taglish, so I hope that's fine with everyone. I understand that the invites were sent to Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, so we have like a variety of people here, a variety of audience. Um, so yeah, maybe we can begin. So today this is our expert talk. We're gonna talk about growing your business and taking the agency um, in Upwork, we highly recommend for freelancers to actually grow and scale their freelancing business into an agency so that you have more income stream and you can actually focus on developing your skills and your experience into an actual business, into an actual company. So here, before I begin, I forgot to introduce myself. So I'm Avery to a lot of people. I'm Avery, and to my friends, I'm Av. I'm the ambassador of Upwork here in Metro Manila, and I'm also a community moderator for Upwork's community forum. So every now and then, I answer questions in the community, and I also do social support for Twitter and the Facebook pages of Upwork. So wait. So our agenda for today is we'll have a short introduction for our speaker. He'll just say hi and maybe say who he is, and then we're gonna talk about a little. We're gonna touch about a little on what agencies are, and then we'll do the expert talk proper. So this part, our speaker Anthony Vivapond and I will be discussing his experience as an agency owner, and then we'll do a Q&A where you guys can send your questions, and then we'll try our best. Anthony will try his best to answer your questions. So for the short intro, Anthony, are you here? Can you please show your webcam and say hi to everyone?
I'm here. Hello, everyone. Great to see you.
So I actually convinced Anthony to do this webinar when he was still here in the Philippines, but because of the pandemic, he had to fly out. He had to go back to Canada. So right now he's in Vancouver and it's 2 a.m. So we are really thankful that Anthony has agreed to do this with us. He's ranked 3 cans of Dr. Pepper just to be with us this afternoon. So
You got to do what you got to do.
yeah, exactly. That's your agency motto, I guess. Okay, so I'll just turn off my webcam for now so that we can focus on um what we'll be talking about today. So what's a freelancer account and what's an agency account? So I guess a lot of you are still would like to are still not yet doing the leap. You want to know how it will benefit you if you had an agency instead of just a freelancer account. Um, so a freelancer account is your own, you're selling yourself and you're selling your skills and you're selling your experience as an individual person, whereas agencies are businesses with multiple employees or subcontractors using the same account. It could also be um, when we say business here, we could mean a company. So you label yourself as a company. Like me, for example, I have an agency and my agency's name is Nexus. And when I sell my agency services, I make sure to go back to my company's branding. So an agency account allows multiple freelancers to work on behalf of a single organization. So generally, agencies represent teams, but a single person can have an agency, and a lot of people do that. So me and my sister, we actually, it was me who started the agency, and then I onboarded my sister, and we've grown the agency to about 5 to 10 people, and we actually hire agency freelancers depending on the type of projects we get. So I just wanted to clarify that per our TOS, per our terms of service, members of an agency account are either the employees or the subcontractor of the agency owner. So what does an agency look like? So we actually revamped the look of the agency. I think it was mid last year, around June or July. And if you see here on the left side, this is how an agency profile looks like. This is an actual top-rated agency on Upwork, which is Rise Apps. So there are different tabs, which is the overview, the portfolio, and the work history, where a client can go through where a client can go through the profile of the agency. And in search results, when, for example, you're associated with an agency, it will show here. Are you seeing my cursor? Let me just.
Yep, it's
It will
showing.
show here. Oh, there. Okay, thanks, Anthony. It will show here that you're associated with an agency, and when you click on the agency, it will show if you're a business manager or an agency freelancer. So, like for example, in me and Anthony's case, when people uh, visit our agency profile, it will show that both of us are business managers. And then when you click here, sorry, I just wanted to clarify. So if I'm a client and I click on the name of the freelancer, it goes to the freelancer's profile. But if I click on the agency name here, it goes directly to the agency profile. And then I will see, as a client, I will see that in this example, Vadim is associated with the agency. So we're increasing our focus on agency, and that means increasing opportunities for agencies to find great projects on Upwork. Last year, we launched a curated agency landing page. So this is how it looks like. And with this launch, we made it easier for clients to hire agencies for big projects. So this is in addition to showing agencies in the general search results, which is what I showed you earlier. Now, clients can easily browse agencies that specialize in particular areas of business, and we've started with a curated list of proven boutique agencies for these in-demand services. So this is actually how it looks like right now. So these are boutique agencies that has a very niche skill, and I think these are for design and creative for this category. So yeah, I don't want to dive into setting up an agency because I think that's what Anthony will do for us today. Anthony Vipond is from Vancouver, Canada, and is the founder of Winterwind Inc. It's Winterwind is a top-rated what do you call this? Top-rated agency and mobile app development company. He has worked with the likes of Disney and Pfizer as a senior web developer. Winterwind started with just 2 developers, but is now a mid-sized agency of around 18 developers and designers. And their entire team is nearly from the Philippines. So Winterwind is a niche agency focused on blockchain and payments integration. And since the company's inception, Anthony has implemented a number of strategies to make his company stand out in the ultra-competitive outsourced software development market. Here again, I wanted to welcome Anthony. Hello, Anthony. Can you turn on your webcam so that everyone can see you so we can ask you our questions.
I'm not as pretty as you, but I'm here.
You should have worn makeup. No, just kidding. Okay, so Anthony, why don't you tell us like how you started your agency? Like what prompted you to shift to an agency business?
I mean, the first thing was, I started out as a freelancer with no intention of starting an agency. I was a senior web developer for about a decade. Before starting the agency, I was on Elance,
Mhm.
I guess before Upwork, and then that transitioned to Upwork. So I was a freelancer on Upwork for many years before starting the agency. Um, I think the I think the I think one of the key things that it makes you make the shift from a freelancer to an agency is first of all, you should be an expert in whatever you're doing. No matter what that is, you should be an expert because like I think most people that go from a freelancer to an agency is because there's just too much work, right? So when you get too many requests, there's two things you can do. One is you can just say no to the people. You can say, no, sorry, I can't help you. I don't have any more time. I'm too tired with my existing clients. I don't have any more capacity, right? And that's one way, and that's perfectly fine. If people want to stay as a freelancer and just have two or three clients, and they have a comfortable life, they have food on the table, a roof over their head, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But if you want to help more people and you don't want to have to say no, you want to say yes to people and try your best to help as many people as possible and earn as much as possible, you're going to need to transition to an agency, which means you are going to need to hire people to work under your mentorship and help you expand your capacity. So you're going to change from doing the work yourself to overseeing a team of people who um, essentially they're working for you and they're increasing your capacity. Because they're increasing your capacity, they're increasing your production. And because they're increasing their production, that is going to increase your revenue. Okay. So, like, you will find in general, like, pretty much in any industry, the revenue is associated with the amount of production. So, if you're only, if you're just a lone cowboy doing everything yourself, there's only so much you can produce in a day. There's only so much code you can produce in a day. There's only so much graphic designs you can produce in a day. If you want to scale and help more people, you are going to have to hire other people, trust other people to work under you, under your mentorship, under your supervision, and give you that added capacity. And I started doing that with two people with Winterwind in 2018. We're now up to about 20 developers and designers. And essentially, all these people are, yeah, they're working under my wing and they're helping increase my capacity.
Mhm. I see. And then, so I'm understanding that you set it up here in the Philippines. Am I correct?
It didn't start with a company registration. It just started by
Mhm.
doing it. Okay, so the first step wasn't registering the company in the Philippines. The first step was just making that change in Upwork, applying for the agency account.
Mhm.
So that's
Mhm.
what happened with that. I think we won't talk about registering in the Philippines, but I think the issue with registering in the Philippines is, are you doing business in the Philippines? If you're doing a lot of business in the Philippines and you have a lot of Filipino clients, then it's probably important to get registered. But if your clients are not in the Philippines like me, they're in USA, Canada, Australia,
Mhm.
I think. I'm not sure what the law on this, but it's less important to those legal things.
I see. So, you we did mention earlier that most of your teams are from the Philippines. So, how did you go about like getting people to join you in your agency? Did they have to be freelancers on Upwork already, or did you go about like looking for them through LinkedIn or like posting in job job boards or something like that?
It started in Borongan, Eastern Samar. That's where I
Oh.
was living at the time. Yeah, I worked in Manila for a year. I was living in Ortigas, and then I wanted to see the other side of the Philippines. I wanted to see the the rural side. I moved. I had a friend in Borongan City. I moved there, and it started off by hiring one developer from Barongan who worked in my house. And then I also had an Indian developer friend that I worked with for many years. He was very he was very competent. So first thing, the first two employees, they were very skilled. They were good at what they do. And yeah, that's and she was working in my house. We were just doing it from home. And that was fine. That that's great to work with people in the same office. This was like late 2018, but
Mhm.
eventually, what we found was the most important thing is not to have a person in the same office as you. The most important is to have somebody talented working from you. And if they're working from home and they're able to work from home, work remotely, they're able to show up to work on time and be responsible. We found that it's more important to find the most talented person rather than someone that's in the same location as you. So
Mhm.
eventually, Winterwind transitioned to, in like early 2019, it transitioned to we were just looking for the best people. We were wanted to hire the best developers, the best designers, and as long as they were responsible, they would work from home. So that was our model. Everyone was working from home. And then when the coronavirus came along in March of 2020, we were already working from home. It didn't affect our business operations too much. So and that now it's kind of the standard working from home.
Wait, I'm sorry. Before I ask the other questions and before we discuss more and delve into the topic of growing your business as an agency, I forgot to ask you, like Anthony, can you tell us more about you and Winterwind as a company and as an agency?
Yeah, I mean, what we're doing at Winterwind is things that I've been honing my skills with for 10 years prior to open the agencies. Um, we're doing website development and mobile app development here, but I was doing website development. I was working as a senior web developer for like the likes of Pfizer and Disney for 10 years prior to starting this. So I think the first thing to make sure your agency gets off to a good start is make sure you're an expert in what you're doing. That's the most important part. If you look into the psychology of sales and what makes a client, what makes a prospect decide you over other potential companies, is do they believe that you're an expert in your craft or not? So when I'm selling website services, we're having this discussion, I'm very knowledgeable about it. That makes the prospect trust you. It's easier to gain their business. And we've gone from one client we started with in 2018, and we've got about 19 active clients now. So later on this call, I'm also going to talk about, a lot of agencies, they struggle to get past 4 to 5 clients, and I'm going to talk about some strategies how you can break through that and be able to handle like 18, 19 active clients that we have now.
If
But
you
so
don't
yeah,
mind me, go
yeah.
ahead, go ahead.
I mean, Winterwind, we operate in the ultra competitive website and mobile app development space. I compete with companies in India, which have lower prices than me. I cannot compete with them on price. Um, so I'm also going to talk about that today, how even if you have competitors that undercut you, how you can overcome that, how you can charge a higher price and still get that business. And that is because not every client is, price is only one factor. And for many clients, it's not the most important factor. It's only one factor. So I'm going to talk about some strategies to deal with having competitors that are undercutting you and how to overcome that.
Yeah, so maybe we can talk about like What were the strategies that you took to scale your agency? So let's start with that because that's really interesting. Like what you said earlier, how do you jump from the 5 clients to 18, 19 clients? How do you grow your agency business? So can you tell us more about that?
Sure. So I mean, a lot of the things I talk about today is going to be mostly relevant to software development businesses, maybe to graphic design as well. It's just because the space I'm in. But hopefully the concepts can transfer over to other specialties as well. I mean, the main reason why you see a lot of digital agencies not able to handle more than 5 to 6 clients is because the owner is too hands-on with each of those clients. Like you'll find many agency owners, they still code on the projects themselves.
Mhm.
They're doing the testing themselves. So like as the owner of a software agency, your developers should be doing the coding. Your graphic designer should be doing the graphic designer. If you have testers, they should be doing the testing. So you need like if you want to manage an agency well like ours that has like 19 active clients and 20 staff of 20, you have to oversee everything. Like what I tell people now is like I don't actually do anything in my company. I don't do anything. Everything is delegated to other people. However, I oversee everything. So we will have all of these chats with the clients going on in Skype, Slack, Upwork, or whatnot, whatever is the medium, and I will be in all of those chats. I'm reading mostly all of the messages. I'm staying on top of everything. If there's any fires that come up, I'm there with my fire extinguisher to put the fires out, to provide my developers with the support they need. If they need support or if they need advice, I'm always there to do that. But all of the work is assigned to them. My job is just to oversee everything. So pretty much the way my day goes is I'm just answering questions all day. I'm answering questions from clients. I'm answering questions from staff. I'm providing that support to clients, support to staff, and that is my job to support. My job is not to do anything. That's necessary if you want to, you know, get up to like 18, 19 active clients like we have now.
So I guess it's more like being able to manage the client and making sure that so you're acting like the account manager for the client and making sure that all the other freelancers or all the other agency members who are working on the project is actually doing well. But can you tell me like, so I've also heard another agency owner who said that, for example, they touch base with a client every now and then they ask if they don't like the agency freelancer. Have you had like instances where you had to replace an agency freelancer on a project, and then how do you handle that?
Yeah, it does happen sometimes. Sometimes we don't have a lot of attrition here. We have pretty good retention in our agency. However, sometimes there's a reason that a resource can no longer work on a project and you need to change them with someone else. And I think that's usually most of the time that's fine with the client as long as everything leading up to that has been good. Okay, so you always want to maintain a good relationship with your client. Always show them you're capable, and then usually it won't be in the beginning. You'll put a developer on a project, and maybe 2 months later they can't do it anymore. You need to change someone else. As long as you've built up their trust to then, and then you're able to, when you make that switch, you're able to prepare them for it. You let them know, I'm going to be changing this person for this reason. Don't worry, everything's going to be fine. This new person is very capable. I've onboarded them already. As long as you can, make their heart rest at ease, it's not a big deal. We do it all the time.
Nice.
That
Before I
that
ask,
being yeah, that
go
being
ahead.
said, you do want to keep a resource on a project as long as possible. Like the old saying goes, right? If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Also, we're talking about people dealing with other people. A lot of time the developer develops good rapport with the client, sometimes a friendship. They earn the client's trust. So you should really try not to change change people on the team. as much as possible, but sometimes it's necessary.
Hmm. And so I'm assuming you've never had a negative experience with, like, a client has never had a negative experience with you. Is that correct?
I wouldn't say that. Sometimes
Ah.
it's a high pressure environment, and they get yeah, they can, maybe it's not meeting their deadline, or it's not fast enough for them, or it's starting to get expensive. Things, there are reasons that clients can get upset sometimes, but you just have to know how to do this. The thing with that is you just need to keep your cool at all times. um, Even if the client is getting rude with you or things like that, you have to remember that you're doing a job. This is business, it's not personal. And even if they're not behaving in the best way, stay above that,
Mhm,
keep your calm. What I find
mhm,
is keep your calm, try to get through that, and sometimes you'll find, you propose a solution to them. Maybe they're not happy that day, but just try to keep it going. And what you'll find is, the next day they might sign on, they might apologize to you, or maybe they've just gotten over it with it and they're ready to keep going. So just keep your cool, be professional, and maybe they're just having a bad hair day. Wait for them to come online the next day, and get back to work and making money.
okay, that's really a great tip. So do you have any more tips on how you can run the agency more profitably, other than making sure that the agency manager or the business owner is um, is doing the client relationship management with, and the agency freelancers are the ones focusing on the projects? What other tips can you give in terms of running the agency more profitably?
Yeah, like Winterwind is really a bare bones operation. I think you need to ask yourself, with, like, as a business owner, we're working as an agency owner, you're working really hard to make all the
Mhm,
money you do, and you want to pay your resources well. Okay, that's the way you retain them for a long time. You want to pay your designers well, you want to pay your developers well, but you really want to watch out for overhead, right? Especially with the pandemic going on. Ask
mhm,
yourself, do you really need to keep renting that office?
mhm,
Um, Ask yourself, do you look at the positions in your company? Do you have some administrative staff that, maybe you have too many administrative staff? Maybe you're overpaying them. Really watch out for your overhead. Look at all of your subscriptions. Look at how much is your AWS bill. Could you do something in your AWS to reduce those costs? Look at pay your people, pay your pay your resources well, but look at all of those other costs. Like when you get your credit card bill statement, really go through everything. See if there's cheaper options. See what you can take out. And like we do weekly accounting here, I really
mhm.
recommend everyone to do weekly accounting. And every week, you should track all the revenue. You should track all of your costs, even if it's a simple system, just using Google Sheets. Go over your go over your numbers every week and just fine tune it, optimize it every week. See what you can cut out. And what you'll find is if you can cut out all that overhead, you can make a decent profit at the end of the week.
Okay. Anthony, I wanted to put things into context. Like, for a lot of agencies, they come to us and they say that um, they have had problems with their freelancers poaching their clients, like taking off the client off the agency so that they can work together with the client. And I understand that you said that you have to pay your resource as well. So, is it only that step so that your agency freelancers will not poach your clients? Do you have any more tips on how to maintain your relationship with your agency freelancers, and how to maintain the relationship with the client so that they don't go off on their own contracts?
Yeah, when we onboard, we have an onboarding process in our company. When we onboard people, there's one of the steps is they need to sign. We just call it a non-solicitation agreement, which means, um, yeah, there we have some rules, and we're both signing it. And one of the things is, you cannot work with the client directly outside the agency framework. I spend a lot of time and money to get these clients, a lot of effort, and so you should have a contract with your employees, make them sign it before they do any work. So then you have a little bit of safety there. If you want to
Mhm.
increase the safety, you can also do a similar agreement with the client before you start, which also
Uh,
set some limits with them. Also makes it clear that you cannot poach the employees. So usually, what you'll find is if you do that legal agreement on both sides with your resource and then with your client, it happens very seldomly. I can say that over the past 2 years, it's only happened once to me.
oh,
It's only
that's great.
happened once. Like it will happen sometimes, but it's only happened once in 2 years, and dealing with through probably over 50 like total clients. If I add active and inactive together, it's only happened once. So um, just do what you can. But what I find is like if you treat your employees well, if you pay them well, you're able to give them ongoing work.
Mhm.
Um, you won't find that happen too much because I mean, let's say the average project goes, 3 to 6 months anyways. If the employee goes and works with them directly and burns that bridge with you, they don't have that future employment with you. So all I would say, if you keep a good relationship with your staff, it should happen very seldomly.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay, that's good.
it's
That's
quite rare.
actually a good tip. Because I think that these instances, it happens to agencies that focus on customer support or focus on data entry and or social media management. So I think it's also depending on how you actually, because a lot of agency owners, they don't understand you're managing a business, you're managing a company. So they also have to manage the agency freelancers like their employees. And it's really nice that you actually said that you have to pay your resources well, and you have to manage your relationship with them too. So I wanted yes, do
Absolutely.
you have anything else to add to that?
I mean, it, you know, let's think about what kind of clients would want to do this. What kind of clients would want to poach your resource for you? We're talking about the kind of clients that are looking for the cheapest option possible, right? That's all
Mm-hmm,
they gain is they're just
mm-hmm,
paying less if they cut the agency out. So the first thing is you should try as much as possible to avoid these clients in the first place. Unless you're a person who likes to compete on price, but we don't do that in our agency. We're not really looking for those clients that are looking to find the best deal. We're not priced as competitively as India, so we wouldn't be dealing with these people anyways. What Winterwind is a full service development agency. So we help them with like product conceptualization, we help them with UI design, development, deployment, and long-term support. And I'm there sort of functioning as a CTO um, through the whole process. So they're getting this package deal with us. They're getting a whole team. So if they burn that bridge with me by poaching one developer from me, they know that they would be losing our entire team, including my technical leadership that I provide on their project, which I provide at no cost, by the way. As long as a client is getting a team with us, I provide advice and consulting largely for free doing it. So it's just not worth it for them to do that. And any client that has that mentality, they want to put resources to save a few bucks. That's not the clients I want to deal with anyways. So good riddance.
So I want touching on that, I wanted to ask you, like, so how do you keep your staff happy? How do you make them stay with you for the long term?
Yeah, I think, you have to give a lot of respect to your staff, and they deserve a lot of respect. they're really the main reason of the earnings for the company and for myself is their hard work. So they deserve that, respect. Um, I give them, I supervise everything, but I do give them independence to, decide how to code something themselves, how to design something. We, sometimes things go wrong. When things do go wrong, you don't want to overreact and get angry with them. What's like sometimes when one of my developers make a mistake, I don't get angry at them because it doesn't happen very often, and they've done a lot of good things in the company. So we can't expect people to be perfect, right? Sometimes those mistakes are going to happen. When they happen, just be very businesslike about it. What's the problem? Okay, how do we fix this problem? Okay, maybe they say they're going to be more careful in the future. Okay, move past whatever the issue is. Sometimes the client complains. I have to talk with them. I tell, okay, I talked to the developer. He said he's going to be better in the future. He's not going to make this mistake again. And you just move on from that. So, you know, the the developers and designers in a software company, they're the lifeblood of the company. So just treat them good. Everything's very relaxed in our company. It's just about getting work done. We have different chat rooms for all of the different projects. As long as they're getting the work done, they can joke around in the channel. They can, even if it's the clients there, it's okay to joke around. Everybody likes to, have a light work environment. As long
Mm-hmm.
as the work is getting done, the client will be happy. So just give them a lot of independence, respect them, give them a predictable day every day. And the other reason why our retention is so high is because I've heard from many staff they learn a lot of things from me, right? So I was a senior web developer for many years. I give them advice, how to work with Git, how to do version control, a lot of maybe some programming advice, things like that. So they're all younger than me. I'm
Mm-hmm.
39 now, and probably the average age is like 24 or 25. So they are able to learn some things from my experience, and that's like a bonus, which is on top of their salary. Even especially your developers in their 20s, the most money is important to them, of course, but if they can learn things from more senior team members and improve their skills, um, you'll find that they want to keep working in that environment.
I wanted, like, out of curiosity, Anthony, because you've been saying a lot of really great points about managing your business, managing your people, managing your clients. And it sounds like you really have a good, um, what do you call this, experience with handling business or experience with handling a company. Out of curiosity, do you have any background on business management, or like did you all learn this on the fly? Like, did you have to read on how to manage a team of 20 people or something like that? So how did you transition, or how did you shift your mindset from being a sole freelancer to being a business owner?
It was all learned. It was all learned on the fly. Um, but I think being a senior software engineer for so many years, like what a software engineer does is all they really do is just fix problems all day. I think it conditions your mind. You just faced with all these problems. How do I fix this problem? What's the fastest way to fix this problem? What's the best way? And I think just doing problem solving for so many years as a developer, yeah, once I had to function as a manager, it's really the same thing. I just face various problems in the day, and you think about them, you think of the best way to handle them, and then you go with that. You just have to trust yourself. And yeah, in the beginning, well, the hard part for me when we're starting was doing sales, right? I had no experience with sales and no experience with marketing. We're still not very good at marketing our company. Don't check our social media. There's not much there. But like with the sales calls, just doing it so many times, repetition, you will get better and better just with repetition and like so practice makes perfect.
I see. Is there anything I wanted to talk about, because we did say that you'll be talking about the strategies to protect the agency owner's time so that you can make more time for marketing and sales, or simply taking time to optimize the processes in the company. So how do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, I think like every day I'm running my agency. Okay, so by running my agency, I mean I'm getting emails and messages from clients. Okay, which I need to answer those, and I'm getting messages from my staff about various things. So my job now is just answering questions. And I don't really do anything else in terms of running the agency because it's all been delegated. We have okay, first of all, I have to give credit to my COO Lyra. She lives in Antipolo, and like you need, yeah, I mean she's what her title is COO, but she's really, my assistant, which helps me run the agency. You need, especially if you're like a software developer like me, you need somebody really smart and competent to help you run your agency. Like for me, I'm handling all the technology. I'm making sure that all the software that goes out the door here is not buggy, it's beautiful and things like that. So I'm really managing the software development here. And there's so many administrative tasks here, the accounting, um, various different things. With Upwork, you can assign people to be business managers in your agency. They can submit proposals for you. So I never submit proposals myself on Upwork. I used to, but then I trained somebody very smart and competent to do it, and now she does them, and now she's training other business managers in our company to do them. So I don't do that anymore. I have somebody, Lyra's leading that. So I don't, I'm not, that's been delegated, and we're able to get good clients from Upwork, and there's various administrative tasks. So just, you have to have a good assistant or manager in your company to handle those things that that you're not doing. And then when you want to grow your admin staff, we're doing Upwork, but we're also doing other things. We're also doing some direct sales, some. So now she's training her own staff. She's very good at now, and now she's training new staff under her. And I'm in those chats, but I'm not very active because she's handling that. So you have to have a great manager, and yeah, treat them well, pay them well, and hopefully they'll be with you for a long time.
So in terms of let's just touch up on the marketing and the sales part. So I do see that a Winterwind is now doing like uh what do you call this? Vlogs on tips where Lyra interviews you and then you give some tips, and I think you're still starting to grow that part. Um so do I understand this correctly that you're not only marketing through Upwork, but you're also trying to expand your client base by marketing outside?
Yeah, we try to make time for those. We made a YouTube channel, and we have our Facebook page, and we try to do them like at least once a week. We do a video, like just let people see you. Don't be shy. Like um, if you're shy in real life, then don't be shy when you run your business. There's no advantages to being shy in doing business. It's not advantageous anyway. Um, I think you need to put yourself out there. Typing something is one thing, but video is really a way to make that connection with people, especially with the pandemic going on. We don't have the face to face like we used to. So I think video on the internet like what we're doing right now is even more important to have that human connection. I can write a great bio on our Upwork, and we've done that, but well, that's actually a good point. We don't have that on ours, but I know that Upwork supports putting videos on there. So I think definitely do that, introducing yourself. And yeah, what we're doing now is we write some questions ahead of time, and then she just interviews me, asks me some questions, and we let people see who's running the company. Me and Lyra, we run this company, and yeah, we have a little discussion, a question and answer, and we're doing that on various topics. We did one on our website development services, on our mobile development, introducing the company. Let people see and hear you for 10 minutes, maybe more than 10 minutes, get to know who you are. And what I've found is we actually very seldomly get direct emails, but um, especially we're getting traffic from Facebook. That Facebook watch can really drive traffic to you. After I do those for 1 to 2 days after that, I get all these direct emails that I wouldn't get if I didn't do the videos. So like you have to put yourself out there. And the reason why you have to put yourself out there is if you want to get clients, if you want them to send their hard-earned money to you, there is something you must do, which is you must earn their trust. Okay? How do you earn their trust? Okay, number one, you have to convince them you're an expert. Okay, are you competent to do their work? Second, you know, try to be likable. Okay, if you're likable, that should help as well. And if they
Mhm.
find that you're competent and you're likable, and they get that feeling in their heart that they trust you with their baby, with their startup, they'll send you an email, and that's happening with us. And yeah, our prices they're not that high, but they're substantially higher than a lot of agencies in India, for example. Once you earn their trust, it's not all about price. They'll pay you whatever, $20, more than $20 an hour, to help them because you've earned their trust.
Before we proceed with the Q&A, we actually have a few questions here already, but I just wanted to touch on that part where you said uh, about the rate. You said something about the rate just now, and I wanted to understand. So how do you set your rate for your projects? You have a lot of people in your team. You have your COO, you have Lyra to help you with all the administrative tasks. So how do you set your rates for your project, and what do you include in those rates?
I think the rates start like, we pay the developers and designers well in our company. So if you pay them well, you also need to charge higher in order to earn a profit. And the other thing about earning profit is, like I said earlier, cutting out all that overhead. So run a bare bones operation, just what you need. Pay your resources well, and then yeah, and then you need to set your prices where it's not too high, but you can still earn well on that. Right now, our full stack web developers are $19 an hour. Our we have a senior UI designer here is 20. We charge $21 an hour, and front end developers could be from $16 to $18 an hour. So it's low compared to Western prices, but it is higher than some prices you'll
Yeah,
see in Asia. But
yeah.
the thing people have to know is that most clients, and especially good clients, price is only one consideration for them. And for a lot of them, it's not a big consideration. A lot of them have budget to do the project. A lot of times their budget is in the millions. So
Mhm.
um, if they trust you and they believe that you can complete their software, um, price is not that important.
Yeah.
Mm.
So maybe we can proceed with some. I think we're still gonna get more questions about pricing later, but maybe we can proceed with some of the questions here. Um, I'll try to. I wasn't able to. go through the questions earlier, so I'm gonna be reading through them, and then I'm gonna throw it at you, Anthony, if it's related to you, or I'll try to answer them if it's more of an Upwork question. So, for example, we have a question from Wilmar Brin, who asks, can you have multiple agency associations on Upwork? Yes, you can be associated with different agencies. But for you, Anthony, what do you think? Like, is it okay for you if some of your agency freelancers are associated with other agencies too?
Yeah, we don't require like most of our developers on Upwork are exclusive, but if I find out the developer or designer has some other jobs on the side, it's okay. It's allowed in our agency. Um, but we have a core time. We have a core time which is 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Philippines time. So I ask for that time. If they want to do other projects or their own startup after that, I don't have a problem. But as an agency owner, I do demand that if you want to work for us, you will give me your 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Yeah, that's actually a good setup. So this
Mm.
question is from Maximo Feliciano, and he asks, do all the employees of the agency or the freelancers of the agency have to be on Upwork? So like in your case, do all your agency freelancers or all your employees have to be on Upwork too? Or do you have employees outside Upwork?
Yeah, I mean it's important to follow all of the terms of service on Upwork, right? So we are active on Upwork. If we find a client through Upwork, whether it's through we submit a proposal to them or we invite us, that should go through Upwork, keep the communications in Upwork, all of that, right? But sometimes like you need to be building your agency's brand. If you're out there, we're adding pages to our website, we're doing SEO on our website, we're putting videos on Facebook, and the videos we put on Facebook, it has my email address there. If somebody contacts you through that medium, email, you did your own marketing that didn't come from Upwork. So because it didn't come from Upwork, you can deal with them directly. So we're doing both. It just depends on how the prospect comes in. Did it come through Upwork or not? But yeah, so we have both going on. But if you find the customer through Upwork, you absolutely shouldn't take it off Upwork. That's wrong, and it's
Um,
wrong, and it will backfire on you. Yeah,
So this is a more of a setup question from Francis Rossellini Brillantes, and he asks, are payments to each member of the agency going to the bank account registered under the agency? So how do you manage your payments, Anthony?
yeah, we use Payoneer. This is for the ones that come from outside Upwork. We take payment through Payoneer for that, and then within Payoneer, you can I we have as part of the onboarding process in our company, we have all the staff, um, you know, register for Payoneer for the ones that are not in our Upwork department. Yeah, and you can receive payments through there, and you can pay employees. It's very convenient. So we use that. We pay weekly. So yeah, whether if the for the our up for our Upwork exclusive freelancers, they get paid weekly. Um, the stuff that comes from outside Upwork, that they're also paid weekly through Payoneer. So um, and like I said before, we're doing the weekly accounting as well. I really recommend everyone to do that, and you can just fine tune your business on a weekly basis, make it better and better. So that's how we do that.
So I guess to also add to Anthony's answer, so when you have a project under the agency, the payments all go through the agency accounts. So whoever the agency owner is, the
Yeah,
payments all go through his account, and the agency owner will be the person who will be disbursing the agency earnings to the rest of the agency freelancers. So in Anthony's case, so that it's easier for him to disburse all the employee earnings, he's required his freelancers to set up a Payoneer account, which is actually very good because I think a lot of agency owners still use bank transfers, which is difficult, especially if the bank is down
mm.
these days. So
I
that's
mean,
actually a
just to
good thing.
touch on Yeah, just to touch on that, I mean, Upwork has a partnership with Payoneer. It's not
Mm,
secret. Like in your withdrawal options, as an agency owner, you can withdraw to Payoneer, right? So yeah, with those exclusive freelancers, all of the earnings goes to the agency owner. You can go into your payment settings in Upwork and you can take your earnings and move to Payoneer. And then then you have your staff create a Payoneer account and then you can pay them through there and paying them is free as well. There's no cost to transfer that. So I really, if people are looking for a solution for paying their employees, they can look into that.
mm. So we have this question from Rodel Frias, and I think you touched up on this earlier, but hopefully you can discuss it again in detail. So his question is, I just started an agency last month and we are getting proposals, but when client sees we're getting interviews, but when client sees that our members are under our exclusive agency members, they prefer to hire an individual freelancer for the contract. So how can we prevent this?
You know, there's a way, like you need to you send the client the link. There's a link and it's the you know, they have their personal account on Upwork, but they also have the agency one. So you send them the link to your the agency page for that freelancer, and they should do it. That will go through the agency. So even if they're not exclusive with you on Upwork, you just send the client that link for their the agency profile for them, and they should do that. And like I said before, if it's the kind of client that wants to deal with them directly and they don't want to go through the agency, you don't want these clients anyways. You don't want these clients anyways. And like I said, if you when you onboard your staff, if you have them sign a non-solicitation agreement, they know that's against the rules anyways. So usually nothing will happen. But the good clients, they respect the agency relationship. They'll go through the agency, and
Yeah.
there's usually no issue. We very seldom encounter issues with that because you know, the clients that we have, they want to deal with an agency. There's a lot of advantages. There's a lot of advantages of having an agency. You know, if the developer quits, you can replace a new one. You can
Yeah.
suggest other people on the team. Like we have designers, we have system administrators, we've got AWS experts, we've got a whole team of people. So that's why clients, that's the advantage of them working with an agency is they're getting a team rather than
Yeah.
an individual. There's only so much a developer do, but a full service development agency like us will help you with everything. Will help you with everything with your software from product conceptualization all the way to deployment and then long-term support after that. So,
And I guess one thing that you also touched up on earlier was that you as the business owner, you as the agency owner is the client's account manager, and you actually sell yourself as the person who will be managing the project while the rest of the freelancers in your team will be working on it. So I guess that's the thing that you can mention when you're like for the person who asked the question, I forgot your name, I'm sorry, but that's the thing that you can mention through your proposals, that you have the client has an individual account manager who will be managing the project with the rest of the freelancers who is going to work on the contract. So that's one thing that you can say on your agency proposals.
oh, you know, that it brings up a good point, and we're talking about how do you protect the agency's owner's time. So, if any of you guys are software developers looking to be an agency owner, you don't want to tell the client you're going to be the project manager because the project manager is very intensive. What I do is I say, you know, if you work with our resources, I'm going to be the CTO for your project for free. Okay. So if you guys have ever worked with a CTO before, right? A CTO is not a project manager. A
Mm-hmm.
CTO, a CTO oversees. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get their hands too dirty. They oversee all the projects. And that's what I do. I oversee them. I'm in all the chats. I read the messages. But if you have good team members, most days you don't need to really do anything. You just observe your team kick butt, and make money for the agency every day. So CTO provides technical leadership. I'm a little bit busy in the beginning, selecting the tech stack, getting them off on the right foot, selecting the team members, putting the team together,
Yeah.
putting them on, putting the ship, like in the right direction. But after that, it should be fine. By the way, another thing we do, I'm gonna give you guys a secret that works really well for me. Assign one of your developers to be the project manager. Okay, this is something not almost no one is doing. Assign, you can teach your senior developers or any responsible developer with good communication skills, teach them some basic project management skills. Let one of your developers function as a developer, be a developer on the project, but also take on project management. And what you'll find is, first of all, it provides a lot of value to the client because they're getting a project manager and a developer in one person. Second of all, you don't have the usual separation or communication breakdown between the technology and the project manager because the project manager is a developer. So you have that very close connection between development and project management roles. I really recommend people try it out. Yeah, I, I will be as CTO overseeing everything. I'll assign one of the developers to be the project manager. Keep the Asana or Trello updated. Keep the cards updated. It works well for us. I said I was going to give away secrets, so I did. Try it out.
So I just so I just wanted to because we've been receiving a lot of questions about registering in the Philippines, etc., etc. And I wanted to clarify that when Anthony said earlier that they didn't register in the Philippines, it's because he's registering in Canada, and that's why he flew back to Canada to register his agency because it has grown. I'm guessing it has grown tremendously from when you started your agency. So
Yeah, I mean we're a Canadian, like yeah, 90% of the staff is Filipino, but we're a Canadian corporation. We've registered in Canada, and like I'm not a lawyer in the Philippines. I just know that I think the most critical people that need to register in the Philippines is if you're doing business in the Philippines. Certainly you need to register if you're doing that, but um, our agency is our agency is more has Western clients, Australia, USA, etc. So, anyways, people should talk to a lawyer if they want to know
yeah,
about that.
people should talk to. Actually, we can't give us as laymen, we can't give advice on tax and
Yeah.
on these advice or these so-called tips should be given by a tax advisor, really a legal advisor. But um, I remember I did an event before, and they did say the tax advisor did say that if you are getting earnings here in the Philippines, like the earnings are sent to you here in a bank account or in account here in the Philippines, you have to register your business. As a person, as a company, that's up to you. So you have to look it up, you have to pay your taxes still. So anyway, moving forward with the questions um from our attendees. Wait, let me just there was
Actually,
a good question.
I actually just want to add one thing to that. I mean, yeah, sure, following the law is very important, but if you're registering your company and you're renting an office and you're getting a secretary before you even have clients, that sounds pretty risky to me. I would suggest people first get some momentum, right? The first step, I think, convert if you're ready for it, apply for the agency account with Upwork. See if you can get some clients, see if you can get some momentum going. And if you can, and see if you're able to run your agency profitably for a month. If you can do that, okay, then, do the accounting and the legal, the boring stuff after, because now you have a profitable agency with a bit of momentum. Um, that's how I would do it. I mean, what's first see, do it on a very low budget. See, can you get some clients for your agency? Can you do your accounting every week? Can you run it profitably for a few weeks? If you do that, okay, then go and register after. But I think in the beginning, first see if you're capable or not to do that.
Mhm. What do you call this? There is a question here, Anthony. Wait. Yeah, the question is from Era Galang, and she asks, how much did you need to start your own agency on Upwork? Did you need to have like what do you call that? A startup money just to set up your agency?
It's free. It doesn't cost any money. You apply for an agency account. I was a developer for many years. I had two developers that I knew were good and they were competent and they wanted to work with me and they were the first freelancers with our agency. I think one was exclusive and one wasn't. And then we got our first client and they started working on that. It cost me nothing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. Mhm. I think before, because back in 2018, uh, you don't need to upgrade to an agency plus plan if you have other members in the agency. Now, if you want to add freelancers to your agency, you need to upgrade your agency plan to an agency plus plan. So that's what you do.
Yeah. We have we I've always had that. I don't remember how much it is per month. It's a very nominal amount. We pay that. I think we have that subscription. I think it's a
Mhm.
$20 a month or something like
Yeah,
that.
it is. It is.
And I think what was the cost? I mean, I knew a good designer. I had a logo. Okay, first of all, I had a name for my company. Try your best, by the way, to get the .com for your domain name. So I've owned winterwind.coms for almost 20 years actually. I think
Wow.
I bought it when I was like 19. I didn't do anything with it though. So, but yeah, have a name for your company, something you like. Try to get the .com if possible. Sometimes a lot of the domains are taken, but sometimes they're for sale. Maybe it costs $500 or even $1,000 to buy the domain you want, but that's um that's a drop in the bucket in the long term. Maybe, yeah, maybe, but yeah, try to get the .com. That's what we did, and then yeah, pay a designer to make a logo for you. Something you're happy with, and there was no other cost other than that.
Okay. There's this one very good question from Gideon Garcia. So, he's about to start his agency, but he's confused if he should start looking for clients first that are looking for agencies, or should he make an agency account first. So, what do you suggest, Anthony?
Yeah, first of all, okay, first of all, um, you need to get your domain name, choose your domain name, get your logo done, get your website up. Okay, prospects, one of the things they're going to do before they decide to be your client or not is they're going to check your website. Okay, make sure your website looks good, it's got information on it, make sure it's mobile friendly because mobile usage just keeps
Yeah.
going up. Get your ducks in a row on that, and then your knowledge about if you're confident on this, yeah, go do the Upwork first. Apply for the agency account on Upwork, get that out of the way, and then yeah, once you have the agency, you need to start sending proposals. Maybe you send them by yourself. I would really recommend everyone, you need to have a great manager or assistant for your company, and then work with that person or train that person to submit proposals. And I can tell you, like, there's absolutely a positive ROI on submitting proposals on Upwork. Um, the more you send out, the better. Send to good clients. There's a lot of things on Upwork show you what's a good client. You can see the job length. Maybe you choose 3 months or more. Maybe you check their rating, check how much they've spent on Upwork. You can filter by countries, really maximize those filters, and just keep sending out proposals. I promise you will get clients.
There's this one question, Anthony, from Kyle H, and his question is: Did you have to provide your softwares or your equipment to the agency, to your agency members, or what other support did you give your agency freelancers?
I mean, the first thing you need to have a chat room. So for our internal, um, we have some internal chats. So we use Telegram. We have these groups, and then the client chat is in Upwork, of course, for the Upwork jobs. What sort of was the question? What support
Like,
did I give them?
like, did you have to provide the technology and the equipment to your agency members? Like, did you have to provide the softwares and the laptops for them to use?
In general, no. Like we do open source development, so we don't do Microsoft technologies. We do open source. We do a lot of PHP development, Bootstrap, running on Linux, and so that's all open source. That didn't cost me anything. Um, in general, the developers, they have their own machine. Um, sometimes, sometimes after a developer works with me for a certain amount of time and we've built up that trust. I have like sent a developer like an old computer of mine to work on. I sent it to them. I'll hold back the salary for that week. It's kind of like a down payment, and then yeah, send them the machine, and then I'll take 20% off of their salary until it's paid off. But that doesn't happen too much. Most of the time, they have their own computer, and I didn't really need to provide them much.
Mhm. There's this really good question from, did I get this right? Wait, I lost the question. Wait, there. From Wylan Osorio. So, hi, Anthony. Some clients require some specific technology stack where your current developers don't have experience. What would you do in that case?
Try not to apply to those jobs in the first place. Like if you guys know PHP, like we use the Laravel framework as well. We're very good at the Laravel framework. We have a lot of experience on it. I can tell you, like, you can build $1 million company just doing Laravel work on Upwork, nothing else. Just choose one technology stack. Like, apply to jobs where you're familiar with that technology stack and just apply to those. Don't like definitely when you're filtering for jobs to submit to, the most important thing is this job falling under your area of expertise, right? We don't do Microsoft development here. We don't do C sharp. We're not applying to those jobs, right? Do things that are within your specialty. If they if they ask you for something that your developers are not familiar with, then what do you have to do? Now you have to go hire for that. You bringing someone in brand new. You haven't worked with them before. That's pretty dicey. So
Mm-hmm.
I I mean you can try, but I would really try to submit to jobs where you know that you're strong with what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Um, there's this question from Ria Matira, and I just wanted to say it out loud for everyone else to hear. So she's an agency owner, and a client invited her for a job. Now she can't do the job anymore because she can't cater to the client. Do you think it's okay to recommend the agency in this case?
So she's a freelancer, is that right? And
She's
the
also a freelancer and an agency owner
and an agency owner, but the client is asking for something that she can't provide.
right now because she doesn't have the time, but the agency can
Um,
provide it.
yeah, I mean, as an agency owner, if you find yourself saying, I don't have the time for this, you're not, there's something wrong with your management of the agency. Um, everything should be delegated, right? Like we have some clients sometimes and they ask us, they want to do some AI. We don't do AI. we're like, no, we don't do AI. If you want to hire your own AI developer from another company, we can work with them. We can collaborate with them. We don't do that. We're just, I will say yes to things that are within our expertise, and I say no to those other things. But um, as an agency owner, you have to delegate. You have to hire people that can do all of the work. Like I said earlier, as an agency owner, you shouldn't really be working on anything. You should be overseeing. If you find yourself saying, I don't have the time to work on this, that's not what agency owner does. They don't work on things. They manage and they oversee. So it sounds like she doesn't have some staff in her company that she needs. So maybe she should hire that person.
Mm. There's this question, and I think this is more of a debate from Al Baltazar. What, in your experience, which is the best way to work with clients? Is it hourly or fixed price contracts?
Um, Hourly. We're an hourly agency. I've done fixed price. Hourly is certainly better. The challenge with hourly, I'm going to give away another secret now. Okay. The challenge with hourly is clients are very nervous about this because they don't know what their total spend is going to be. They're like,
Yeah.
I can't do hourly. I'm going to go into a black hole. I don't know how much I'm going to spend. And
Mm,
what we do is we operate in a very transparent way. I say, don't worry, we're gonna once we start working like within the Upwork chat, I said my developers are gonna give you daily end of day updates. Okay, they're gonna give you details on what they completed. They're gonna give you some screenshots, maybe some video, and if you want, they can estimate the percentage of the project that's finished. Okay, so they
mm,
can give a percentage. How much is it finished? So if the client has spent if the client spent $500 so far, and the developer says, I think the project is about 10% complete. Now the client can they can use math to gauge that the total development will be around $5,000. So that's how I tackle that problem. I tell the client we're going to operate in a very transparent way, and we can report that percentage that the project is completed every day. And so now that they know the percentage that's completed, they can use basic math to gauge what their total spend is. And we're just an hourly agency. And if they're okay with that, great. A lot of them will agree to it, and a lot of them won't. They're like, sorry, I need a I need a fixed price. I have to have a fixed price. My manager says this has to be fixed price, and we say, I'm sorry, I can't help you. It's our agency said doesn't do that. If you change your mind, get back to me. So we have a lot of process in this company. We do things in a certain way. We we um we work hourly. We have our process for all of the projects. Um, either the clients can agree to my process or they can't. If they can't, we wish them best of luck. I don't take them as a client. I'm not going to change my process to satisfy every single person. Your job as an agency owner is not to get the most clients possible. It's to, yeah, it's to get the most amount of suitable clients, clients that are okay with the way you run their agency. I mean, if I go outside my comfort zone and I work in a way that's not what we usually do here, it's not going to turn out well anyway. So have your rules for yourself. If you're an hourly agency like that, stick to that. In Upwork, when you apply to jobs there's a filter. You can only view hourly jobs if you want. So turn on that filter. That's what we do. We don't apply to any fixed price jobs. We just do hourly, and there's thousands of jobs on there for that. So let the fixed price companies do fixed price. If you're hourly like us, do hourly. You don't need to you don't need to compromise your system to
yeah.
appease someone.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I have it very so we'll try to wrap up in the next 10 minutes, but I have two interesting questions here that I would really want to ask. Number one is from Chester Alan Benalla, and he said this question is entirely the opposite of this topics, but can you provide some pointers when you should not yet start your agency? Like if you're a freelancer, how do you know that you should not yet start an agency?
Okay, so I think we need a basic checklist for what to start agency. Number one, are you an expert in the subject matter? Number two, have you um, have you built your website? Is it on the domain name you want? Your email address, you shouldn't have at gmail.com. You can use things like G Suite from Google, which that's what we use. So I can have my email, anthony@winterwind.com. Make sure your email address is the same as your company, and you, like I said, you need a good assistant, and you need at least one or two you need at least one or two resources that work for you that are able to perform the work. I think if you can check all those boxes, you're okay to start your agency. And if you can't, then I would recommend to do all those before you start before you start it.
There was a question earlier. I lost who asked it, but there were two questions actually about it. So how is the rate and earning percentage divided between the agency and your freelancers? Like, how do you factor that in?
It varies. It varies between like we have some positions like if someone wants a system administrator or a blockchain developer from our company, that's $30 an hour. Sometimes front end developers here are $16 an hour. And what I pay the resources varies. It varies on their experience.
Mhm.
So, but I can say, the percentage is pretty good. There's a cut. The agency earns from a cut. That cut that cut can be quite good, but what really matters is you need to track all those other costs in your company, right? Are you paying too much in administrative? Are you wasting money on an office when you don't need one? Are you doing like marketing that's just costing a lot of money and it's not paying off? If you cut out all those unnecessary costs, like regardless of what your cut is, between your client rate and your resource rate, if you cut out that overhead, your take home every week can be pretty good.
There's a question here, and I know a lot of people hate it. They actually hate spending on connects, and since you're an agency, you actually have to purchase connects to be able to send proposals. And they're asking, like, is it worth it? Is it worth it to spend connects? And what are your ROIs?
I have like we do weekly accounting. We track all the costs. I can say, don't worry about those Upwork connects. Like, do not worry about them. Just if you don't have enough clients in your agency, keep sending out proposals, keep buying those connects until you get the clients you want. Um, uh, I have, we've got, I've found clients on Upwork that have hired teams from us, and they've paid over $100,000. So it's like once you get these good clients, those and you're developing for them for a few months, the Upwork connects are just a drop in the bucket. Like maybe they're just a little bit scary in the beginning because you're not um, getting revenue, but you need to push through it. Buy those connects. Keep submitting proposals to the right clients, to the right jobs. Once you get once you get a client or two, you're going to see that those connect the what you spend on connects is a drop in the bucket compared to the revenue they're bringing into your company.
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly. So, any last tips, Anthony, before we let you go, and then you can have your good night's sleep?
I think we covered a lot in
Yeah.
this. I hope people gained a lot from it. Um, I'll let people know if they want to reach out to me. Our website is winterwind.com. My email is anthony@winterwind.com. Feel free to reach out, maybe for advice or um, partnership or anything. But yeah, like I guess I'll just summarize some things I said. Like you need to be an expert in it, and you also need to enjoy. You need really need to enjoy what you do. I'm doing things for this agency on a daily basis, but it is a labor of love. You have to love what you do and be good at it. And if you do that, it's really happy. It doesn't feel like work a lot of the time. So don't, when you're choosing what industry to do or choosing what to do, I think don't look at what makes the most money. Don't look at what has the highest rates. Do something you're good at that you enjoy, and I'm sure you will have success because you will be able to do it. You will be able to do it on a daily basis because you enjoy it and it doesn't feel like work to you.
Yeah, that's a really nice tip, Anthony. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, your time, evening, our time. I'm really glad that I was able to hunt you down. It's been a long time since I've been trying to look for a top rated agency owner who's willing to do this for us. And I'm really glad that we got to meet at the Pioneer workshop. So really thank you so much, Anthony, for being with us today. And
And
everyone says their thanks. Yeah, go ahead, Anthony.
And thank you to the hundreds of people that have stayed on this call. And it's been a long call, but thank you for
Yeah.
everyone staying with us and for all your questions. And yeah, invite me back anytime. It's been a
Yeah,
pleasure.
I hope you enjoyed. Did you enjoy
I
it?
did enjoy it. It's this I love this stuff. I love running my agency. I love what I do. I love working for myself and being financially independent. And I have no problem sharing my tips and secrets to other people. I hope they can enjoy the success that I have.
So if you want to learn more about Anthony or like get tips from him, he's starting the vlogging. He's starting their videos for Winterwind through their YouTube and their Facebook. I've been following it and I've been seeing him do his question and answer with his COO, Lyra. So it's really good. He will also be, I think he is yet to do his agency vlog. I think I saw you post about it. Like you wanted to do a blog about setting up an agency, right?
We do, yeah. We're doing some videos right now, just sort of introducing Winterwind to the world. But I want to do some videos later, like just like today, sharing my tips and secrets and helping other people to be successful as well. I lived in the Philippines for 3 years. I hire Filipinos, so I want to do everything I can to help my Filipino kaibigan.
So cute. Anyway, thank you, Anthony. I have to let you go. I know you're still up from that Dr. Pepper, but thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you, thank you. And thanks
Okay,
everyone
thanks
for
everybody.
coming. Bye. Bye everyone.
Okay.
Thank you.
Huwag kalimutang mag-subscribe at i-press ang notification bell at piliin ang all para lagi kayong updated sa lahat ng mga susunod na video ko. Ciao!